Kiss you with your mustache. Oh, your mustache fell off.
You broke my mustache.
Welcome to another episode of Goosebumps. Yet another day, and yet our march towards 90s nostalgia continues. And we have 3 this time. Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, A Shocker on Shock Street, and The Haunted Mask 2. Return of Carly Beth and others.
Those other people.
So, those other people.
You don't really remember, but you know.
But anyway, to start with Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, number 34. Someone's been stalking in my garden. Creepy. 2 pink flamingos, a whole family of plaster skunks. Joe Burton's dad loves those tacky lawn ornaments, but then he brings home 2 ugly lawn gnomes. And that's when the trouble starts. Late at night when everyone's asleep, someone's creeping in the garden. Whispering nasty things, you dirty boy. Smashing melons. Squashing tomatoes. No way 2 dumb old lawn ornaments could be causing all this trouble, is there? There he is. That's one thing that, just right off the bat, just like a little aside, that I don't understand. Their dad is obsessed with winning awards for their lawn and garden. Mm-hmm. What kind of prestigious lawn and garden place awards someone who completely fills their backyard with like plastic flamingos and gnomes and things? But think about it, like that's like so tacky and weird.
They go to like a fair. They don't actually.
I guess, but it's just like
it's
just like ridiculous. I don't know. Like,
it's just an extension of what he likes.
I guess it's just like that. That I don't know. That just stuck out to me. That like a person who's that obsessed with like perfection, like the neighbors, feels more like someone who's legitimately obsessed with like the perfect garden and whatever.
That's a weird thing to be obsessed with.
Oh, I agree, but there are people like that because they're obsessed with like that's their project, is their home where they live in their garden and the the backyard's extension of that. I understand that. Like, yeah, it's like going to Judith Johnson's house. But to me, overall, this one, I thought they were mischievous and fun. I didn't think there was a whole lot of like scare factor, but I thought they were mischievous and fun. And there were some like likable characters, but.
No.
Again, overall, I thought there was nothing like super extraordinary about this one.
They were gnomes.
But it wasn't frightening at all. But it was just kind of fun and like interesting. And so, I give it a 7 out of 10.
I give it a 7.5 because the one kid's name is Michael McCall.
Sound like you liked it less than I did, and you rated it higher than I did.
I know, that's weird. But I don't like lawn gnomes. I don't understand them. They're weird. Yeah,
they're weird and creepy. That's part of it. They're like weird and creepy, and like I don't know. They can be cute, but you didn't grow up watching like David the Gnome like I did.
That's horrible. That's a horrible show.
It is, but I grew up watching that. They can be cute, but anyway.
It's terrifying.
So next up we have
35.
Shocker on Shock Street.
Talk about shock treatment. Erin Wright and her best friend Marty love horror movies, especially Shocker on Shock Street. All kinds of scary creatures live on Shock Street. The Toadinator, Ape Face, the Magic Mangler. But when Erin and Marty visit the new Shocker Studio theme park, they get the scare of their lives. First, their tram gets stuck in the cave of the living creeps. Then they're attacked by a group of enormous praying mantises. Real life is a whole lot scarier than the movies. It is. But Shock Street isn't real, is it?
Is it? I wish it was.
I was done with Shock Street like immediately.
It was my big problem with this was the setup of the Shock Street like B horror movies in theaters and enjoyable. The story I wanted from that setup was that they go on like a family road trip or whatever, a car breaks down, and they actually they find out that it's actually a real place. That Shock Street's a real place, and the creatures are actually real, and it's mysterious. Like,
that would have been much
that
better
was the story I wanted. And the story that we got about basically like the ride and filming the Shock Street like stuff and like the robot twist at the end and things like that. Like overall, I found that so much less enjoyable, so much less fulfilling than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really remember what the twist was in this. Like I feel like I know there was also got an episode, but I don't remember the episode even very much. Like, so I didn't really remember, but I remember there was like a twist. And the setup made me think one way, and I'm like, oh, that would have been a really good story.
It would have been.
And this was just kind of like, I don't know, it wasn't horrible, but it was one of my lower rated ones so far. I gave it a 5.
I gave it a 4. I was very disappointed.
Yeah.
As a longtime Disney connoisseur.
Yes, yeah.
Of theme parks.
Scary
this was
Disney.
But this was like just bad theme park.
It was, because but then you also compare it like in a totally different way because it's the animatronic part of a theme park versus like One Day at Horrorland was the ride aspect of a theme park, and that was done so well that it's so bad that this wasn't done particularly as well at all. And again, I think if it wasn't for that setup and it wasn't for what I wanted it to be, if I hadn't thought of that in my mind,
Yeah.
I probably would have rated it like a 6 maybe, or a 7. But like, because I had that in my mind of what I wanted it to be, like, that sounds to me like an 8 out of 10 story, at least.
But those
That
kids
kind
weren't.
of,
Those kids weren't as good.
No, they also,
I
they weren't as
wasn't a
enjoyable
fan
either.
of the kids.
But yeah, overall,
they weren't very memorable kids.
it wasn't overall that great,
But-
but The Haunted Mask 2, I love the cover of both Haunted Mask ones. Here, get the glare off there. There we go. Just call him Pruneface. Steve Boswell will never forget Carly Beth's Halloween mask. It was so gross, so terrifying. But this year, Steve wants to have the scariest costume on the block, so he gets a mask from the same store where Carly Beth got hers. It looks like a creepy old man with stringy hair, a wrinkled face, and spiders crawling out the ears. Steve's definitely got the scariest mask around. Too bad he's starting to feel so old and tired and evil.
I feel like that every day of my life.
I know, old, tired, and evil.
Old, tired, and evil.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, this I really enjoyed.
I did too. I
So-
enjoyed it just as much as the first one. It
Yeah.
actually kept the kids.
Yeah, it was a good follow up,
correct.
and I liked that it changed perspective and it wasn't just Carly Beth's
Yes.
perspective again, and that kept it fresh enough that had mostly the same characters, so like that
Yeah.
also worked well. That was
I mean,
a good idea.
I still have a problem with Steve. Like, they're such little assholes.
Yeah, but then
like-
not to the extreme. Not like
Yeah, well, no,
like someone
but-
like Kermit or something. Like, you know what I mean, in the
But
Monster
they're
Blood.
still assholes.
Yeah, but realistic assholes. Like, you knew kids like that. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing about both the Haunted Mask ones, is that I feel like the kids were realistically portrayed, and there are a lot of Goosebumps books that do that well, but a lot of the ones that have a sequel, they don't. They mess it up somewhere in between. Like, it's, I don't know, but I thought it was an exciting return.
It was.
So.
We had Sparky, the black terrier. I enjoyed that. I did.
But no, I thought this was good, scary fun. I gave this one a 9 out of 10. This is
I gave
actually
it
really high.
an 8.
Yeah. So I really, really enjoyed this one. But
It was really good. It held up, which Goosebumps kind of 50-50.
yeah,
Either
and
really,
as
really
we're
holds up or really, really doesn't hold up.
yeah, and as
There's
we're in
no
like the
in-between.
second half too, we're starting to get a lot of the sequels now. The ones that have, so there's a bunch that have like one more sequel, and then some that are a series. And I think the trend for most of them, there are a handful of exceptions, like the Mummy one, things like that. A lot of them, the second, third, fourth, whatever, just doesn't hold up to the first one. Mm-hmm. And I think we're starting to get into that, but this one really does. And I think this is a shining example of a sequel that's really good. I mean, so Shining.
The Shining.
But, yes, The Shining.
The Shining.
The Haunted Mask 2, starring Shelley Duvall.
Ugh.
That's old and scary and tired. Shelley Duvall.
Evil?
But yeah. Anyway, so that is today's episode of Goosebumps, and check back tomorrow. We have a whole bunch here. Another threefer coming up here.